This is a brand new Sunseeker Manhattan 52, and Sunseeker's West Country sales office based down in Torquay have very kindly invited me down to have a look around it. And the great thing about this is because it's not at the boat show, we've got a little bit more time to explore it a little bit more thoroughly. Now this is an interesting boat because it's one of Sunseeker's fastest selling boats ever. It's been massively popular, and if we have a look around I can show you exactly why. And that starts right back here. This area here they've been quite clever with, so it's got the usual high-low platform as you'd expect, but one thing that is interesting is this beach club area here. So you've got this seat here that folds down or folds away, and then above here there is a barbecue. So this is a really lovely area when you're at anchor. You can be out here really connected with the water. And the other thing that's out here is a crew cabin that's based down in here. Now at the moment it's absolutely stuffed full of cushions because this boat is very much in winter mode. Obviously it's January at the moment, so the exterior cushions are off it, but let's have a look on board and we can see what the interior looks like. Now the cockpit is pretty conventional with the seating area at the back here, but there are some rather nice details. One thing I like is you've got stern handling winches here, which I think are part of an option, but they put rope bins next to them so you can actually tuck your ropes away in places like that. That's a nice touch, and it's classic Sunseeker with the chunky stainless steel and the little Sunseeker logos on it. That's a nice touch. These fairlies here again, very solid. And the woodwork as well, if you look at things like the way they've done this table here, that's just a really neat detail. This of course opens up, so if you're dining you can have a little bit more space around there. But if we head on inside, now this is your typical aft galley layout. But what's interesting is this window here, normally you see these, they fold up against the roof out of the way. On this boat, there's a little button down here, and the whole thing motors down like that, and then you can flip this over here, and that is a really neat solution because it leaves everything discreetly tucked away. That works well. And the galley itself is a really good size, so you've got this area here as you'd expect. It's all electric cooking of course, but they've taken it full beam, so it goes right across here. You've got your fridge freezer over here, and then tucked in here there is a wine cooler and an ice maker, so it's well catered for, and loads of work surface as well, which is often what you find lacking on boats. Ahead of that we have got the saloon area of course. Now as I say, this boat is absolutely brand spanking new, so all the carpets are protected as you can see, but got a great seating area over here, and that faces this area here, so it's a really social area. And this TV that you can see just here, that is a high-low telly, so you can hit a button and that all folds away completely, and you've got these massive windows for an absolutely terrific view out. Let's head on forward through the boat. Helm position is over here. You've got these classic diamond quilted Sunseeker seats, and then of course it's an all glass cockpit, so the dials are electronic built into the screens. Let's head on down again. There's a little heater down here just keeping a bit of warmth in here. They really do look after these boats. Obviously when it goes to its first owner it needs to be absolutely immaculate. So what have we got on the lower deck? We have got the main VIP guest cabin up here in the bow. This is a nice cabin actually. Big windows out of the sides, so you've got some good views, and there are twin overhead hatches, one of which opens of course, so you've got masses of light in here. And there's some decent storage as well. You've got a wardrobe on that side, and then you've got a little dressing table over here and more storage in behind there, so that's pretty good. Let's head on back. Your second guest cabin is over here, again good size, really good headroom in here as well actually, and again it benefits from those massive hull windows, so the view out is rather lovely. Now both of these share the day toilet over here. The forward cabin has ensuite access directly to it, but that is a really nice heads compartment. Again, big window, of course there's a blind that goes down over that, and you've got a separate shower stall tucked away here. And as ever, the best is kept for the owner, and quite rightly too. He finds himself down here in a massive full beam master cabin. Look at that. That's a really good size, and this gets huge windows, so again a view out through here. Just fantastic. This is a really good sized cabin. Lovely little dinette area down here as well, so for a morning coffee or whatever. That's really good. So that is our lower deck. Let's go and take a look on the outside. Back through the galley, back out into this cockpit area, and I think we'll try the flybridge first. Now, as I mentioned, this boat is in full winter mode, so all the covers are on up here, quite understandably. And in fact, the cushions aren't even under the covers. The cushions are tucked away in that aft cabin, keeping everything dry and nice. But you do get a good impression of the size. There's a massive dinette area at the back here around the table. There's a bar in the centre just here, and then yet more seating up here. Your helm is over on the starboard side. It's a double helm. And then you've got a sunbathing area ahead of that, and that's really nice because if you've got kids lounging out on here, you can keep an eye on them when you're underway. So that's the flybridge, and a revving jet ski in the background. Let's go up onto that foredeck and have a look at that. Great side decks, really good size. You can walk facing dead straight along them, which is nice, rather than having to crab along them. And your foredeck is up here, with a noisy jet ski in the background. Now this is something we're seeing more and more of, is a foredeck cockpit space. This one's quite clever because you've got cushions that go all the way around here in a U shape. That's those hatches from that forward cabin. And then there's a table as well, of course, but you can drop that table down as it is now with all the cushions in place. There's another one that goes on the table, and this then converts to another massive sunbathing area. So let's head back down. I love these high rails. It makes it a very safe boat. They really are at hip height, so you feel really safe walking on here. Let's go and have a look at that engine room. So the engines are underneath the cockpit floor just here. Well, actually technically they're underneath the saloon, but this is the access to them. And then there's a ladder just here. So let's head on down here. Now the interesting thing about this boat is that they do two completely separate drive system options. This boat has conventional shaft drive, so your engines are here, and then you have shafts coming out the back of the engine to the propellers. But you can have this boat with an IPS drive system, so the pod drives, if you prefer it. This, as I say, is shaft drive, and these engines are D11725. Now they're giving the boat, I'm told, about 30-31 knots, so it's a pretty quick boat for a flybridge boat. But this is a fantastic engine room. Look at the space in here. It's not quite standing headroom, unsurprisingly. It is only a 52-foot boat, but it's not far off. I reckon if I was a bit shorter, I almost could, and that's incredible. But the room to get around these engines and work on them is fantastic. Keep everything clean and nice. And all your systems as well, be easily accessible. Exhaust systems there. Let's have a look in the back here. So that's all your plumbing and other bits and pieces. It really is get-atable, if that's a word, and it's really neatly done. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, these engines are often pretty compromised these days, but this isn't. This is brilliant. Generator at the back there. Cool. Let's head back up. So that's it. Sunseeker Manhattan 52, one of Sunseeker's fastest ever selling boats, and I can certainly see why.